Ang election sa UP is very grueling. It's something like, I think, a little bit like national politics. Mahirap talaga yung campaign. You're essentially uprooted from the rest of the things you have to do for school, your academics. You try to balance both, pero it's really hard. Like, kailangan ka rin talaga mag-sacrifice ng oras. So, lalo na nung time namin, we lost in a big way. Like, a lot of our counselors also lost, etc., etc.
What went wrong?
Well, I can't really speak for the whole
Break up personally yung sa'yo.
the whole party, but maraming bagay, like small things. I think the major thing is the way we pushed our issue. Kasi nung time na yun, yung issue na we thought was the most important for students was the UP Charter. It was being pushed in Senate Bill 2587, as I remember. We thought that it was a step in the wrong direction kasi there are many provisions in the Senate bill that would allow commercialization, and that's something that we didn't like kasi parang it was all part of the idea of state abandonment na palit yung subsidy ng gobyerno, hahanap na ibang paraan para kumita ng pera. Commercialization. Yung commercialization naman isang bagay lang yan. Hindi mo pwedeng ipaghiwalay dun sa assets na ngayon po commercialize. Sabay-sabay mangyayari yan, pati yung pagtaas ng tuition fee. At essentially, nakita na rin naman natin yun eventually. So sa isang banda parang, I wouldn't say it's vindication, but parang it gives me a certain level of comfort that our analysis was essentially correct naman. That ito talaga yung tinatahak na landas ng UP. And we can see that today. But ang problem kasi nung time na yun, since the issue was, I thought, it's not something you could hold. Like, it's not like sira-sira ang facilities ng UP, although sira-sira naman talaga. Pag pinag-usapan may isang Senate bill, napaka-vague niya. So, it was a matter of communicating to the students why we thought it was that important. And siguro rooting it to actual situations, like what was happening on the ground.
At times na syempre iba yung dinadala ng student leader or ng student council or ng party. Iba rin yung level ng awareness ng mga students. So minsan may feeling na na-alienate sila sa sinasabi. Paano i-deal pag ganong situations na merong na-alienate, feeling nila na-alienate sila o alienated or hindi nila ma-appreciate yung position ng student council at yung general perception ng student. How does a student leader deal with that?
That's always a challenge. That's the biggest challenge, I think, of a student leader.
In your case, how did you balance it?
I wouldn't say I did a good job, but certainly we tried. Kasi sa isang banda pag organized ka, parang it comes easy. Parang it's so clear to you kasi parang madalas mong napapag-aralan, nade-discuss ninyo. Hindi lamang sa level ng UP kundi sa national level, so parang ang linaw-linaw. Pero pag kumusap ko na sa mga estudyante, hindi naman lahat ng yan, sa totoo lang, hindi naman lahat ng yan ay interesado dun sa issue yun. Sa isang banda, ang isang tactic is to make it more tangible to them. Pero sa isang banda, yung tactic na yun ay tingin ko hindi rin necessarily effective lalo na sa UP students. Kasi sa UP students, sabihin mo na, tataas yung tuition natin, pagkakaroon naman ng miscellaneous fee. Yun yung sinasabi nilang bituka ng mga estudyante, tumataas yung bayad nila. Pero sa UP, hindi naman yun yung talagang biggest issue nila Palagi kung mag-work yun sa mga other state colleges na yung mga estudyante talagang galing sa mga poor families. But UP, even during my time, wasn't necessarily the UP of yesteryear. Marami na rin mga coming from the middle class. And I think one way that student leaders can engage them is to appeal to their inherent sense of justice. Na parang they don't, lalo na yung people have a strong sense of justice in what is right and wrong. Like, kaya nga napaka-importanting issue sa kanila yung corruption. Kasi parang nakakaasar yun para sa isang estudyante. Parang ba't ganyan yung mga leader natin para na yung future? So, instead of focusing so much on how local issues affect them as students, pwede mo i-elevate yung debate doon sa ano yung role mo bilang estudyante sa nation building or social justice, etc. etc. And kumbaga you appeal to their intellect.
How did you move on from that experience yung after the elections?
It wasn't so difficult. Even before I was in the student council, I was active in the organizations na naman. In fact, wala naman talaga akong ambitions of being a member of the student council. It was something that I thought was a great opportunity dahil sa not everyone can serve in the student council. At the same time, parang in-explain din sa amin na yun na nga, it's one way of contributing to student awareness. So, I gave it a shot. But at the same time, parang that's not the only avenue. So, just move along. Like, importante na doon, if you figure out what went wrong, or you have a clear idea of what you could have done differently, or how you could have improved, that's what you focus on. And then, in the next election, you apply what you learned, then you see where you take it from there.
Have you bumped into your opponent?
No, not. Chris Sablan was my
Where is he now? Politician?
I'm not sure. I think he ran for congressman also. He lost recently kasi ang mga kalaban niya doon was really well-entrenched political class. I mean, Chris was like he was a cool guy. We worked together as counselors in the student council, and if he wasn't in the other party, I think we could have been really good friends. And not to say that we're not friends, hindi na kami nagkaroon ng chance. He was much older than me, and syempre we were focusing on our own things when we were in the council. Pero I think parang for one thing, I was rooting for him in the elections. Sayang hindi siya nanalo kasi he's young, and I think he has young in comparison to yung mga kalaban niya doon. And that's always a good thing, I think.
How fierce was your rivalry sa election na yun at that time?
Fierce, not personally. Like,
describe mo yung intensity ng isang election ng campaign. How intense did it get?
Talaga. Intense talaga. Lalo na nung time namin, kasi nung time namin, naging, two parties lang naglaban. Before that, usually, mga 3 parties, 4 parties. So, mas naging intense yung dichotomy na it's either you vote for us or you don't vote for us. Di ba? Parang, at doon din na-highlight yung fact na sa totoo lang, I think it takes a little bit extra to convince students to subscribe to a brand of politics that is not necessarily easy to understand initially, or maybe intimidating to some. Let's put it that way. Yung radical ideas naman sa UP, it's always been the minority naman yun. Maraming sabi UP ay university ng mga aktivista. Pero if you go to UP, at least yung UP na nakagisnan ko, it's not the case. Like, you really have a group of students na very passionate, and then they try to influence other students, but that doesn't mean that lahat ng mga estudyante sa UP aktivista. Mas marami doon, kailangan pang paliwanagan, or iba nga, antagonistic talaga. So, na-highlight nung time na yun, yung dichotomy na parang dahil sa intense nung elections, and because I think the rival political groups basically banded together and they were very determined to win the election. I think, ako personally, I don't want to speak for the rest of the party during that time, pero parang hindi ko masyadong na-realize yun. Parang hindi ko na masyadong naisip na, wow, parang matinding laban talaga ito. Parang ako just wanted to,
do you recall particular instances kung gaano kainit yung...
Well, sa mga dorm tour, talagang grabe yung cheering ng both sides. Kahit dun sa proclamation rally,
debates.
Talagang kahit sa debates na intense. Actually, pag napapanood ko nga yung mga debates ngayon, isip ko ba kami dati? Kasi napaka-passionate talaga ng mga students na minsan parang relax. Pero parang pag andun ka, wala ka namang ibang choice to be passionate and to really get into it, the whole campaign. And then of course, yung election itself, yung scene doon sa Bilangan, hindi rin na. Kasi basically, dikit yung laban And then, dikit yung laban and we were in fact drilling. So parang that was a different feeling for stand-up kasi the past elections we won very clearly. So parang nakakontribute yun dun sa disappointment here. Pero parang after naman you take a step back and then you think it's just the student council. You don't have to operate in the student council to make a difference.
So, ngayon, looking forward sa bilang isang journalist, anong top 3 lessons na nakatulog sa iyong work ethic or sa iyong pananaw sa trabaho mo after?
Well, ako, ang attitude ko naman sa mga stories, siguro pwede ko sabihin na ang bawat story dapat may silbi. May silbi sa isang grupo ng mga tao. Parang kahit sa mga stories walang fence tingin. Kasi yung isang lesson ko sa UP, hindi tumitigil yung tunggalian sa pagitan ng mga iba-ibang interests. And ang larger perspective niya, hindi tumitigil yung fight na marginalized sector laban sa ruling class. And in every story, nagre-reflect yun. Kahit na gano'ng kaliit. Siyempre, alam mo, minsan parang it's so small, it's imperceptible na, di ba? But it's there. So parang ako, wala akong qualms to take a side. Like, I take the side of the majority. And I don't think that's taboo. Like, it's easy to explain why that should be. In fact, journalism prides itself as some kind of agent of change, and yun naman ang historically speaking, yun naman talagang role ng media at ng mga mamamahayag. So, ganun lang. Parang yung ganung klaseng consciousness helps me produce stories na I think are more relevant, hopefully. And parang hindi nawawala yung timon ko, ibig sabihin. Parang meron akong general compass of what is social justice, and I try to orient my work in that direction.